Sandra Bullock has always been one of those stars who can stop traffic just by being herself. But when new photos of her in a swimsuit hit the internet recently, it felt like the whole world pressed pause. These weren't just regular paparazzi shots. They felt bold, honest, and powerful in a way that only she can pull off. The reaction was huge. Fans were amazed, critics started talking, and social media was flooded with posts. Everyone wanted to know the story behind these images and why they felt so different from the usual celebrity photos we see every day. Sandra Bullock has been a household name for years. We've watched her save a runaway bus in Speed, win an Oscar for The Blind Side, and carry herself with grace in countless roles. From serious dramas to comedies that made us laugh, she has always been more than just a talented actress. She has been a symbol of strength, resilience, and charm. But this time it wasn't about a blockbuster or an award. It was about something far more personal and far more inspiring. The scene was simple. The sun was out, a quiet setting, and Sandra was there in a swimsuit that felt both classy and bold. There was no over-the-top styling, no massive production team, making sure every strand of hair was in place. It felt real. What stood out was not the outfit, but how she wore it, how she owned every moment. It was in the way she smiled, the way she stood, the way she carried herself. There was no trying too hard, no hint of doubt. Just a woman who felt confident in her own skin, a woman who knows herself and doesn't need anyone's permission to be exactly who she is. People noticed this right away. The images didn't just trend for a moment. They started a conversation that lasted for days. Social media lit up with comments. Fans called her an inspiration. They spoke openly about how rare it is to see a woman celebrated for being herself, especially in an industry where youth and perfection often dominate the spotlight. They talked about how refreshing it was to witness a star like Sandra Bullock reminding everyone that beauty doesn't have an expiration date. It doesn't fade. It evolves. It becomes richer, more meaningful, more captivating. That's what makes these photos feel so special. They aren't about trying to prove a point or chasing a trend. They aren't filtered, airbrushed, or posed within an inch of perfection. You can see lines on her skin, tiny details that tell a story about life, about moments lived and felt. And that's why people connected with them. In an era when it's so easy to get lost in digital illusions, this felt like a breath of fresh air. It felt honest. It felt like a reminder that being confident doesn't mean being flawless. It means knowing who you are and standing tall in that truth. What makes this even more remarkable is the timing. In recent years, Sandra Bullock has stepped away from the public eye more and more. She has focused on her family, taken time for herself, and chosen her roles carefully. She has always been someone who does things on her own terms, and this moment felt like a continuation of that. It wasn't about making a comeback or grabbing a headline. It felt like a statement. Not a statement that shouts, but one that shines quietly, making its point with strength and grace. People often ask how she does it, how she has managed to stay so grounded, so real, and yet so captivating after all these years. The answer is that she has always refused to fit into someone else's idea of who she should be. From her acting choices to the way she handles fame, she has never tried to walk in a lane that wasn't hers. These new images felt like proof of that. There's no trying to impress, no artificial polish. Just a person, proud of where she is, confident in the body she has, and comfortable with herself in a way that is truly rare. That kind of quiet strength is what inspires people. It's why these photos have resonated so deeply. They don't scream for attention, they hold it. They invite people to slow down and take notice. In a world where we're used to seeing images that have been edited until every hint of reality is wiped away, this felt different. It felt like a moment captured in its purest form. And that is why it became so much more than a picture. It became a reminder that beauty doesn't have an age limit. It doesn't diminish as years pass. It changes, it deepens, and it grows stronger when it's rooted in honesty. Even critics, who are often quick to pick apart moments like these, gave credit where it was due. They called this a shift in how we talk about beauty and aging. They talked about how rare it is for a public figure, especially a woman, to step out and redefine those ideas simply by being herself. In doing this, Sandra Bullock has become more than a movie star. She has become a symbol of strength, resilience, and grace for anyone who has felt the pressure to conform, to look a certain way, or to apologize for getting older. That's why this moment will be remembered. Not because it was bold or flashy, but because it felt real. Not because it tried too hard, but because it didn't have to. It came from a place of knowing herself and knowing that she doesn't owe the world an explanation. And in that quiet confidence, in those moments captured by a camera, she gave people a reminder that true beauty shines brightest when it's rooted in truth. If this inspired you, or made you rethink how you see beauty and aging, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories about the moments and people that matter. It's moments like these that stay with us, reminding us that being confident and true to ourselves is worth more than any filter or trend. In a world that's always changing, that kind of strength will never go out of style.